We're back, people, and today we're working on film on Charles Grant. William Mary, offensive lineman for the 2025 NFL draft class. Very intriguing player with some great traits, athletic traits. Listed at just under 6'5", 311. He has long arms, like got over 34-inch arms, which is nice. I think he's a guy that probably stays at tackle. I'm sure maybe in certain schemes he could probably get away with playing guard. But I do see him more as like a mid-round developmental tackle type, especially in an outside zone scheme, man. Like, his range and like ability to reach block is so impressive. Like, he was playing lower level competition, which is one of the question marks. Like, I really wish he got to play in some of the bowl games, but I think he was dealing with like a minor injury, so he didn't participate. But like, he dominates his film versus lower level competition. Really, really explosive, man. Like, super lateral. If you were in an outside zone scheme, you know, you're one of the Shanahan tree guys, potentially like Charles Grant is probably one of your guys. I think there's maybe some question marks potentially in pass pro. Like, it's not a, you know, I want to see him versus bigger competition, because sometimes I think he just won by just completely just being a better athlete than people at times. But yeah, number 60, really good player. I think, you know, he can prove some like the footwork stuff in pass pro, but it's teach tape, the reach blocking that he's able to get out there. Like, we'll break this down. Look at him just fire out of the stance. Here's this one getting to the second level. Cutting, like, obviously this is lower level competition, so you gotta factor that. But the fact that this linebacker, who's much smaller, has the natural leverage advantage, like this guy's to his play side, and he's on the back side here, and he's able to cut him off that easily and quick, like takes a great angle and gets engaged. I think he does a good job of like, I mean, his hands to the back there, but he gets engaged, and I think he does a good job of like straining, sustaining his blocks for the most part once he gets engaged. Very impressed that this guy's able to, the running back, makes a cutback, has to stop, takes a while to get to his cutback lane behind the left guard there, and he's still able to cut off, and he has no chance of making an impact on that play. That's actually an insanely impressive cutoff. Same thing here. If they hand this ball off to the running back, he cuts off a 3 technique very easily as on the backside of as the left tackle. Just boom, get your head across. Use that like right arm, get it wide. I mean, he kind of, you know, and then is able to like reset those hands like more inside the shoulder pad, which is good placement for them. So I think he can work on maybe like placement with his hands, but overall he seems like a smart player too. Like, if you listen to him talk about football, he's also new to the like game. I think he's only been playing since he was a junior in high school. He started at William & Mary. This is another thing. He started at William & Mary at wing 240. So he's new to playing like and doing this stuff at this size, and he still is able to show this level of athleticism. It's just that step. Like, this guy's got a 4-eye. He cuts him off instantly. Look how he fires off the ball just compared to everyone else. He's so quick. He just looks like he's playing like a man amongst boys at times with his film, and just easily cut him off. It's about positioning, outside zone. Here he is, literally, this guy's head up with the guard, basically playing as like a 2. Head up, able to get up and cut him off in like literally 2 steps. He's already got his hat across. Get your hat across this guy. 13 takes a false step, but you're still able to cut him off that quickly. Good hand placement, strain, and now you're just completely sealing that, man, on the backside. That's super impressive. I really like his fit. Outside zone dominance. Love watching it. You want to watch a guy just easily reach people on a snap-to-snap basis. Just turn on his film. This is not just like highlights. This is like every rep that's outside zone looks like this. Which it's got to be. When you're playing this level of competition, like lower level competition, you got to be dominant. Like, and he's able to do that. Look how easily he does this. So this guy's head up. He cuts him off very quickly. Wins in 1 step right away. Boom. Good hand placement. Good job extending. You can see how he uses his length to his advantage. Allow his tight end to get into control. So he allowed his tight end like to get control very quickly and cut off. So then he could just go to the next level. Like, he doesn't end up, you know, ends up getting blocked. But like, the fact that he was able to help his tight end seal that and then climb and, you know, locate some people is absolutely ridiculous. He's also able to torque people out the club. If guys set the edge and he didn't reach them, like, he's able to widen. Look at him, like, get engaged. Like, one good placement. I think he can play with better, like, I think he has the bend, but I don't think he always plays with it. Sometimes he plays a little high, but he gets engaged. Let him just torque this guy out the club. Just boom. Right arm extension. Use your hips, and you throw him to the ground. Very, very impressive from Grant. Just very much easy on film. Here's the thing I think with his pass protection that is weird, because he doesn't do a lot of vertical sets, which is what you want to see is vertical steps versus high edge reps versus high end, high defensive end reps, and he doesn't really get that. He usually just sort of like, you know, Sometimes he jump sets, sometimes 45 degree, but usually he kind of takes a little lazy and he just gets, takes a step and is like, I don't really need to do too much. He does a good job here, like redirecting, passing off a stunt. You can see his athleticism, but you can tell he's just like really not too worried in these blocks in Pass Pro. It's like, so it's tough to evaluate it completely, and that's why I really wanted to see him, against higher level comp. But then, man, just look at his lateral movement. Like, dude, he's like he's doing like a karaoke off the ball to cut this guy off. And then he's able to sustain this too. Once the guy tries to work back across his face late, because he cuts him off quick. Guy tries to work and strain past it late. He's able to sustain it and keep driving, keep his body on this guy. Still right there. I mean, just very, very good stuff. Constant. Love seeing this too. Like we talk about the outside zone. He's very dominant in the outside zone. Here he does a good job of down blocking, working the double team, attack low hip, double team, and then find the linebacker the next level, 32, cut him off. So that's nice to see. I don't think he's the strongest player ever, but he does a good job of, like really, you got to attack that low hip. That's why he's able to create that displacement, then climb up. So that's nice to see, some versatility potentially to make those blocks. I just feel very confident in the outside zone stuff because that was constantly on the film. That stuff was, just not as much due to the play calling. Independent hand usage, another thing where like, he looks a little rigid. I think, the footwork could be just more efficient. Like that he's showing different looks with the hands, like he's drag handing with an inside hand. Outside hand looks like he, might go for a swipe down, but then gets engaged. So independent hands use that outside hand to, stop him from working the outside of him. Outside path, now get engaged with both hands, and then you're able to get control, bring your hips with you, and then look at him, extend, fight, bury this guy to the ground. Doing that in pass protection is insane. But that's what you got to do when you're playing this level, and he was doing it pretty constantly. Like here he is again. Plays with some bend here. I like that he's playing with better bend. Still a little uncomfortable, it looks like, in his kick step. Guy works. This happened earlier in the game. If you watch this game, one guy, a DB, tried to get around the edge of him, and it felt like he still widened him, but it felt like he got to it a little bit late. Here he expects it again with a DB. He gets his outside out, and he just torques him to the ground. He basically choke slams him. It's actually crazy that he was able to do that with just that left arm, which is really, really fun to see. Love seeing this more outside zone action, but this time, use that outside half, or use your, inside hand right here to drag, boom, help your guy get contained, help him reach, does a really job, and then find the other guy at the second level and then kick him to the outside, and it just creates that perfect lane. Just really enjoy those reps, man. And it's just consistent. Look at him get his hips across. It's technique. I think he's got good technique overall. I think he can work on footwork in Pass Pro, and then just overall, I think hand placement consistency can get better. But I think he understands for the most part, like, where he needs to be, positioning, leverage, a lot of those things, which is good, especially for a guy that's still new to the position, still growing. I think he just has really high upside for the position, because when you consider all of those things, new to football, the athleticism that he possesses, and, I think he still has a floor to where, like, he can still fit in the right scheme right away. But good job just cutting this guy off. Get your hips across. Look at him, use that step right there. Bend, seal. Look at this huge cutback lane. The running back doesn't take it, but from him getting that block, it helps create just a huge cutback lane that the running back just never sees. And then he's also finishing too, because look at him strain this. He doesn't allow him to get anywhere. And then the guy tries to, toss him off late, but Grant still takes him to the ground, which is just incredible stuff. So, Charles Grant, you want a guy that's an outside zone demon in the run game, like blocking? Charles Grant is the guy in this class for that. I see him more as a tackle. I could see maybe a potential guard move, depending if he can't hold up in pass protection at tackle. But I think he's a guy you definitely try at tackle first. Maybe guard for the right team if they don't really need tackle help. But I think I see more of a tackle with his build. I think he's got a little more of a lean frame. He was listed at like 300, but he did weigh in at 311 at the combine with it, which I think is good for him. But he's got the length to play tackle, athleticism. So if you're the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Peace.